guys, it's Lindsay. Welcome back to The Wandering Reader. Today I'm going to be doing the bookshelf book tag. I thought I would do this tag because, as you guys know, I passed 2,000 subscribers a while ago, and in celebration of that I'm going to be doing a bookshelf tour. So I thought this was the perfect tag to do before I did the bookshelf tour, just because it kind of almost gives like a little bit of an overview or an introduction, and I didn't think it made sense to do it basically afterwards. So this tag was created by a wandering mind. I will leave a link in the description box down below to the original tag as well as to all the questions, so if you guys want to do this then obviously you can have a little look down there. There are 13 questions, so let's just jump into the first question. Okay, so question number one is, how many bookshelves do you have? So in this room I have 4. I don't count this one here because although I have got a few display books on it, it's not really a bookshelf. So I have 4 in here, and then I have 1 downstairs in the living room, so 5 altogether. Question number 2 is, how many books are on your bookshelves, or how many books do you think you have? Now, there was no way that I was going to stand here and count all of them because I would have been here for quite some time. I know I have, and in fact let me check. Okay, yeah, so my physical TBR on Goodreads is 364 books, and then obviously I've got the books that I have already read on here, in here on my shelves, as well as books that my husband has read or needs to read, which I haven't added to my TBR. So if I was going to guess, I'd probably say somewhere around, what do you reckon, like the 500 mark? Yeah, let's see whether we can work it out actually. Okay, so maybe we can do some sort of an average. So I just had a count of this shelf here. There are 26 books on this shelf, so say that's like an average shelf count. If I times that by 6, and then I times it by 5, because I have 5 bookcases. Oh no, hold on. 26 times 6. And then times 5. Okay, that says 780 books. God, that's a lot more than 500. So I don't know, maybe that'll give you some sort of an idea of how many books I have on my shelf. Okay, question number 3 is, how do you organise your books? So basically, a few different ways actually. They're mostly in alphabetical order according to the author's name. I would love to do rainbow bookshelves and things like that, but they don't really appeal to my sense of organisation. So I like my series to be together, and I like all of an author's work to be together. And then within an author's work I will organise it by publication date, so you know what they published first up until what they've most recently published. There are a couple of exceptions to that, so there are all of the shelves that you can see behind me are organised like that, apart from the one that's down here, the last shelf in this room, which you'll see a bit more closely when I do my bookshelf tour. The last 3 shelves are all of my non-fiction books. So I have had my non-fiction books mixed in with my fiction books before, but I didn't really like it just because I found that some of the non-fiction books were a bit bigger than the fiction books, and therefore they would stick out on the shelves and stuff like that, and I just thought it was a bit more neat and tidy to have a separate non-fiction section. So that's what I've got, and they're all organised alphabetically by author's name as well. And then the second exception to that is the bookshelf that we have downstairs in the living room. We call that like a bit of a display shelf, although it does need a bit of organising because it's a bit full at the moment. Basically, a lot of our series are down there. So we have like a Harry Potter shelf. There's a shelf where all of Stefan's Robin Hood books live, and then there are various other series on there, series that we love, or that that I love, or that Stefan loves, and that we've decided to kind of display down there. So yeah, that's how I organise my books. Question number 4 is, what is the oldest book on your shelf? And it's probably this one. This is one that's not on my TBR, but it's one that Stefan's mum and dad gave us to kind of keep. It's called Winston Churchill As I Knew Him by Violet Bonham Carter, who I believe is related in some sort of way to Helena Bonham Carter. And this was first published in 1965. Yeah, so this is a first edition, I believe, and it's actually signed by the author. So you can see there, Violet Bonham Carter. And then there's a little dedication in here from somebody called Anthony Asquith. I have no idea who that is. So yeah, I would say that that's definitely the oldest book on my shelf, and probably one that I will never read. Question number 5 is, what's the newest book on your shelf? And there are a few that I got on the same day, but I'm just going to show you this one. It is A Little Life, and that is by Hanya Yanagihara. This is like a booktube darling, basically. I cannot get over how big it is. I think it's about the life of this one particular man and all of the kind of hardships and troubles that he had to go through. I've heard it's quite upsetting, and that some people have really loved this and then other people haven't. So yeah, this was, I think it's like a brand new copy. I picked it up in a charity shop for £2, so I couldn't really pass it up, to be honest. But yeah, that's one of the newest books on my shelf. I just realised that you could probably interpret the last 2 questions a little bit differently. Like I interpreted the oldest book on my shelf as the one that had been published like that long ago, if you know what I mean. I can't find my words. But I could have done like the one that I've owned the longest, and then for the last question, the one that had been published the most recently. But anyway, I've done it how I've done it. Okay, so question number 6 is, what's the longest book on your bookshelf? And just kind of glancing around, I've got to go with A Suitable Boy by Vikram Seth. I didn't even bother looking at my Goodreads because, I mean, look at how big this is. I've seen this in a shop in like 3 different parts, but this I think is the bind up, the full book. This looks like, yeah, it's 1,474 pages. I don't really know what this is about. I bought this a couple of years ago in a book sale. I don't even know. Well, I mean, when am I going to get around to reading this? It's so large. I mean, the fact that it's large shouldn't put me off, because I read Pillars of the Earth earlier on this year and loved it, regardless of the fact that it was so massive. But yeah. Question number 7 is, what's the shortest book on your bookshelves? And it's probably one of these little black classics. I've got a few of these on my shelf. This one is The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe, and this one is 48 pages. So yeah, these are just little, I don't know, they're almost like introductions to the work of a particular author. They've recently brought out those light blue ones. I don't know who they're by. These are by Penguin. I think the light blue ones might be by Penguin as well. I'm not overly sure though, but yeah, that's one of the shortest books. Okay, question number 8 is, what is the predominant genre on your bookshelf? I'd probably go with 2. Number 1 is fantasy, and that's because my husband reads so much of it, he buys so much of it. I read some fantasy too, so there's a mixture of his books and my books on the shelves that we have. But I would say also there's probably quite a lot of contemporary fiction on here. So yeah, fantasy and contemporary. Question number 9 is, have you done a bookshelf tour? So obviously we've already discussed that. Haven't done one yet, but I am planning on doing it within the next couple of weeks, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Question number 10 is, go on a random number generator and talk about the book that corresponds with that number. So should we do the number that the calculator said, 780? We'll do that one. Let's hope we don't get like a really high number. Sorry, the sun keeps going in and out, so it's changing the lighting a little bit. So 1 to 780. Let's hope I don't have to count for a long time. God, I do. Should we do... okay. I'm going to... It's 616, so I think I'm just going to randomise it again. 368. Okay, so I'm not going to press it again. 368, so I'm going to press pause on this video and go and find book 368. Okay, so I'm back. I didn't individually count them. I did multiples of 26 basically, and then, yeah. So book number 368 is Elmet by Fiona Mosley. I read this last year, I think it was shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize last year, and this basically is told from the perspective of a child who is growing up with, I think, his sister and his dad in this house that's kind of cut off pretty much from the rest of society, and his dad is very protective and very sort of macho sort of thing, and yeah, they're home educated, and it's just about their life in this house, and kind of it plays with the themes of kind of isolation and, you know, the rest of society and that sort of thing. I thought it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, would definitely recommend that one. Okay, question number 11 is, do you have fan merch or any other decorations on your bookshelf? I do. Mostly on the shelves behind me, so you can see I've got some Funko Pops. These are the some Harry Potter ones, and then I also down here have some Game of Thrones ones. I've got my fairy lights, which you can see like the bottoms of, and then I have other little things on my shelves. So I have like little flowers and stuff like that. These are like ones that I used to do my Bookstagram pictures as well. What else do I have? I have some things at the top of my shelf as well. I've got like Hermione's wand up there, a couple of candles, that sort of thing. So yeah. Okay, question number 12 is, show us your bookshelves. So I'm gonna spin you around, well, I'm gonna spin me around, put me behind the camera, and kind of give you an overview of the shelves up here and then the one downstairs, and then we'll be back. You can kind of see what the shelves look like. These are kind of, it's like an overview. Maybe if I go into the room and do it from the corner, you'll be able to see a bit more of an overview here. So these are what the shelves look like. You can see I've got some, so up here I have all of my children's books. There are a few decorations and things like that. Some Funko Pop boxes, some other bits and pieces, and then you can see what my shelves look like. I've got like what I'm currently reading over here, and there's like a few knitting, a few crochet bits and pieces, and my vlogging camera. And then these shelves over here, and down here is where I keep my non-fiction books and my phone. And then this is the bookshelf that we have in the living room. So the lighting's not so great in here, but you can see like I've got the Harry Potter, all the Harry Potter stuff at the top, and then some more Harry Potter here. This is Stefan's Robin Hobb shelf, and then we've got various other series going down into there. So there you go guys, that was a bit of an overview of my bookshelves. Realise that you saw the chair that I was sitting on with my towel. It's so hot and sweaty, yeah, so I have to sit on a towel. So yeah, it's a bit of behind the scenes for you that you didn't really want to know about, but there we go. And the last question is question 13, which is to tag somebody. I'm not going to tag anybody specific because I can't remember who's done this and who hasn't, but if you're watching this and you want to do it, then consider yourself tagged. Yeah, and make sure you keep an eye out on my channel for my upcoming bookshelf tour. Looking forward to filming that and putting that up for you guys. As always guys, have a chat with me in the comments below if you've got any questions or yeah, anything that you want to say to me. Please leave it in the comments below. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.